when you add up these total number of votes, these 5 numbers here, adds up to 86. And if you just take half of that, you get 43. A majority has to be more than half, because if you only have half, then someone else can get half and there'd be a tie. So you want to go up. After you take half, go up to the next whole number. So from 43, you'd go up 1 to 44. Let's say if you had an odd number like 87. If you had an odd number, if you take half, you would get 43.5. If you use the same idea, move up to the next whole number. Well, when you take half of 86 and you get 43 and you move up to the next whole number is 44. If you take half of 87, you get 43.5. If you move up to the next whole number, you also get 44. D gets 30. First place votes, which means if these people who voted, if they could only vote for one candidate, these 30 would vote for D. So D would get 30 votes. E would get 22. F would get 20. And then H gets both these 12 votes and these 2 votes, so 14 votes. Just be sure that when you add these numbers together, you do get the total number of votes, 86, so check. And then the candidate that has the most first place votes would have a plurality, they say, and would win by the plurality method. Doug is going to win this one. Plurality with elimination, we start off with just the plurality, and D gets 30, and E gets 22, and F gets 20, and H gets 14. The majority is 44, so if one of these candidates had gotten 44 up here, this method would be ended, because the only thing that plurality with elimination requires that plurality doesn't is that you have to have a majority in order to win. And if there isn't a majority, then you eliminate the candidate with the fewest number of votes. So in the first round, Hector is eliminated. And that leaves D, E, and F, Doug, Eleanor, and Fiona. So now these 86 votes are going to be divided up among D, E, and F. But Hector has been eliminated, H. So we don't want Hector involved in any of the rest of this. So I'm going to go get rid of all the H's here. All right, really we need to focus in on these 14 here when we're wondering where these 14 votes are going here. And there they are. Well, these 12, if Hector's out of the race, then we'll go to E. So E has 22, and they're going to take these next 12. D is 30, and F has 20, all right? So those 12 go to E, and these 2 go to F. So we don't give all 14 votes to somebody. All the votes that are awarded are based on the original preference ballot. All right, so E gets 34 and F gets 22. That's 56 plus the 30. Still no majority. So we eliminate the candidate with the fewest number of votes, and that would be F. So now we have D has 30 and E has 34, and we have to see where these 22 votes are going to go now. All right, so I'm going to go eliminate F up in my table, and those were the F. All of the F's should be 5 of them, like this. So both H and F are eliminated. All right, so we don't have to worry about these 30 or these 22. Those are already figured in. These 2 here went from H to F, but now they're going to go to D. All right, so D gets those two, so 32. And then E gets the 54, and then that adds up to 86. And now 54 is indeed a majority because it's larger than 44. So we're always going to stop when there's two candidates because they're going to split the candidate. They're going to split the votes together. So in this case, Eleanor wins. D has 178, E has 216, and F has 236, and H has 230. And when you add those four numbers together, you get 60. So here's another example. I guess it's not too hard to see that, or not too hard to find examples that like a different candidate wins in every different election. And usually when you have an election, it's not going to happen this way. Usually there's a candidate or two that kind of rise to the top with the most votes, regardless of the method you try. But a lot of times in these problems, when we contrive them like this, we can get them so that they divide who wins with each of the methods. Yeah, so we would say H wins with the 3 points. And notice in every case, the total number of votes adds up to 86. So it's just like a couple of head-on-head competitions where whoever is not involved in the competition, they kind of just sit off to the side, let someone else duke it out. It's like a round-robin tournament. And someone could make the case, if in a one-on-one competition you beat everybody, then maybe you should win. And that's what happened to Hector. Someone could also say, well, if you rank these folks and you give different amounts of points for the higher you're ranked, then maybe the total points is the way to go. So someone could make a case why this board account method is the best. And of course, many elections that we have, it's, school elections when you're growing up, or the presidential election and so on. Well, not really, but most other elections, it's just a plurality. You don't have to get 50%. But someone make the case that, hey, we don't want to choose this candidate when so many people ranked them last. So maybe what we should do is insist upon a majority. And that's why we have the plurality with elimination method.